Barbara Shaw, and today I'm going to start a new picture of a robin. So I've chosen a background fabric of, this is a lilac patchwork cotton. I've just draped it over a piece of hardboard on my easel because I work standing up, and I've used a photo that I've taken as my reference, so you can see. Here are some of the fabrics which I think may be useful. So I've got some plum coloured organza, which will be good for shading. I've got some of this stripy fabric, which is a batik, which will be good because the robin's sitting on a door. I've also got different shades of reds for his chest, and you can see some lace as well, and various odd bits which I think might be useful because of their either sparkly nature or because they're going in the right direction. For example, this one could be used for feathers, and this again either feathers or on the door. This is another cotton one. So you can see a whole range of different fabrics which I can use, and I shall pin them together, just regular pins, and I've got a grey thread so that I can do fix everything together with running stitch. So I'm going to start by just doing a rough outline of a robin, and I've chosen this fabric. It's a cotton batik, and I'm just cutting out, can you see where it's just got some shading and detail in, and I shall pin that like that. It doesn't really matter whether the pins hold it in place exactly or not, because when I stitch, I don't stitch to the edge. And here's some for his back. Oops. And I can trim off the edges when I come to shape him. So this is the photo that I'm working from, which I took yesterday, so you can see how I'm going to build him up. So there's his face and the beginning of his back, but you can see I haven't got that quite right, so the angle is wrong. So already I can see I need to trim that so that it comes down in a better shape. So next I'll do some of his chest. Again, this is a silky fabric, very rough shape. And then I'll add a little bit more of this one for the rest of his chest. Just tuck it in like that. And you can see I haven't got the angle right, so then I'm going to have to move that one across a bit. So already I'm looking at the way the feathers lie and how I can actually add different bits of fabric to represent them. So here's a little bit of lace. And I shall use a bit of this stripy one for going down his back. So I've cut that like that. And he is sitting on a door, so I shall introduce a little bit of this one. And just this is a batik. And you can see it's very rough how I cut the pieces, but so his legs probably come about there. So that the legs come there, then, but I can always adjust it. So that's the beginning of the door. He's got a slightly bluish tone on his back, so I'm using some of this, which you can see the pattern on it. So if I look at it like that. Here's another one for his chest. And you can see there the line is too sharp, so what I do is cut into it and fray the edges. This is another one which might work on his feathers, although it looks a bit unusual. Just a little hint of that can really lift the colours. And here's the sparkly one, which I shall see how that works. And you can see just the tiny little bits of the other fabrics showing through make a big difference as to the subtleties that you can achieve. Got a bit of sparkly fabric here, so I'm going to add a little bit of that as well. This bit I thought might be useful for the door, and I shall use the reverse of that. Again, rough edges, because it then blends in better. And this is an interpretation rather than an exact copy. This stone fabric, I'm just wondering whether some of that might work on his face, so cutting up just a little bit with the line in, so just a little bit like that, and to see if that goes on his head. So you can see that these lines are not how his feathers would fall, so that up there. Pop that on there. And here's a brighter bit to add to his chest feathers. So again, just a little tiny piece. I'm trimming that a little bit so that it still flows well. And here's a better view of how far I've got with the picture.